Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is my review for Season 3, Episode 3 of Batwoman titled Freeze. The description for the episode says, an unfortunate incident in downtown Gotham alerts Batwoman and the Bat Team that another missing trophy has made its way into the wrong hands. A new member of the Jet family surfaces. After revealing she's her daughter, Ryan was mating with Jada again. Jada complimented her on getting this far despite her circumstances but wanted nothing to do with her. But someone else did, her son Marquis. I love his style. Ryan said she always wondered who her mother was and now she knows it's someone not worth her time. But I wish, she said, now I know she's a bitch. A kid found Mr. Freeze's ice canister which froze his bus and seemingly killed everyone. Luckily, Duke knew where the canister was because Alice was too busy congratulating herself for giving Ryan a new mom and claiming that the nanobots were making her sick. But when Ryan got there, the canister was already gone. For a second, I was afraid we were getting some Adam and Fallon on Dynasty BS when Marquis asked Ryan out for a drink. Thankfully, he revealed he knew her story and confirmed she's the result of an affair, just making me worried she's Bruce's daughter. I love how he dissed Ryan's ugly ass office, then proposed that they team up against Jada and make a name for themselves. Turns out Nora Freeze's sister Dee had the canister. Like in the animated series, Nora had an incurable disease, so Richter froze her to keep her alive. After he died, she was unfrozen and given a cure, but she'd been driven insane and was sent to Arkham. The twist is that time caught up with her. In a few years, she went from being Stephen Amell's wife to an elderly woman and the disease came back. So now Dee was gonna put her back in the cryo chamber. But someone else was after the canister and kidnapped Dee and Nora. We didn't get her name, but she looks like a more comic accurate Grace Choi than Black Lightning's version, so let's call her Grace. She wanted Dee to turn on the cryo chamber, but Nora told her it doesn't work. Ryan showed up and we got a pretty good fight scene. I love when Javicia gets to use the staff, but Grace knocked her out and threw her in the cryo chamber to kill her. The silence and echo made the scene so good. Ryan called Luke for help because the suit's heat regulator wasn't working, so he ran off to save her. Meanwhile, Sophie picked the best time to complain about Ryan not confiding in her about Jada. While Ryan froze up, Sophie told her how she doesn't know her and just assumes the worst. I mean, she's right. Ryan hates that she was a crow and doesn't know Sophie's mother disowned her and just keeps on making assumptions. Luke saved Ryan and we got a pretty cool Batwing scene through the tinted glass. I love that. I just hate that Luke keeps raising his helmet in public. Luke stopped Grace from taking the canister, but she took Dee, so they chased after her in the Batmobile. We get some WildMoore moments through the comms that even Luke picked up on, so Ryan punched him. Grace just threw out a bomb and the bridge collapsed, which reminds me that I wanted them to adapt No Man's Land at the end of Season 2. I thought it'd be a perfect ending to the Black Mask and Crow story, but I'm loving the season, so it's okay they didn't do that. I thought Ryan would go all Dominic Toretto and drive through the gap, but Luke flew out and used the canister to freeze up the gap. The Batmobile looks way better this season, and that chase scene was way better than the ones from Arrive Alive. I love how Ryan stopped Grace's car with the batarang. Grace was gonna kill Dee till the cops showed up, so she just ran off with Victor's notes. Meanwhile, Mary was giving Alice a checkup, but all her vitals were fine. I loved their banter. Alice claimed Mary kept Luke's secret because she's in love with him and knows that Ryan will ignore her like Kate and Jacob. Mary, don't listen to this white woman telling you to stay in your place. But Alice's outfit looked amazing. She just needs to let go of those jackets. Next, Mary gave Nora a checkup and Alice threatened to kill Nora if she didn't take the nanobots out of her. I love how excited Nora looked. She's so sick of people sacrificing themselves for her and she just wants to die. She understood how Alice felt. They've both been trapped all their lives and finally want to be free. Mary ignored Alice and told Ryan about Luke's PTSD, but Alice was right. Ryan ignored her because she would have died if Luke wasn't out on the field. Luke denied having PTSD, so I wonder if they're doing a story about the stigma around mental health among POC, especially men of color. After all, mental health is the theme of the season. Maybe he's denying it because he thinks it makes him look weak, especially since the whole reason he sent this message because Ryan called him out on being weak. Mary went to give Nora her meds when she finally told Dee that she just wants to enjoy whatever time she has left. Then as Mary was leaving, she was taken by Poison Ivy's spine. Overall, this was a pretty good episode. Once again, the premiere was such an amazing episode that the next two have failed to surpass, but they're still really enjoyable, strong episodes, some of the best of the show. It kind of felt like the early seasons of Arrow, especially the more grounded villain of the week, but it's also concerning that it kind of felt like Batwoman Season 1. I wish we would have learned who Grace's client was, or why she cared so much about the cryo chamber and that she'd gotten a name, but I guess it's a two-parter, which reminds me of the Count Vertigo Arrow episodes. I really like what they did with Nora's story. I'm glad they aged her up. I didn't like Cassandra Amell, and the actress was so much better and so fun in this role. I love how outspoken Nora was. She just doesn't give a damn. Surprisingly, Jada's the one I'm not liking, but I love Marquis. It's not what I wanted from the show because I like that Ryan represented and fought for the little guy, but I can't lie that I'm not gonna love what they're doing with all the business partnerships and backstabbing stuff. Like I keep saying, it reminds me of when Dynasty was good. I'm starting to see the mental health theme of the season and I'm really interested where they'll go, especially now that they're showing the darker side of Alice's mental illness with her psychosis rather than glamorizing it. I like most of the ACAP storyline, but so far this has a stronger build-up. Finally, it's clear WildMoore's gonna be a thing and I'm not sure how to feel. I was like the One Ray Lake shipper last season, but later on I started to see the chemistry and WildMoore was winning me over. The problem is that they've already made Ryan more like Kate, so I'm not sure it's a good idea to give her Kate's ex-girlfriend. I kinda want her with Rene Montoya. Yeah, she's Kate's girlfriend in the comics, but they never met on the show. I'm just afraid they'll do a love triangle instead, and I'm sad that my homofuck ship is the one that's sinking. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for similar content. Leave your thoughts on the video or episode in the comments below. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Goodbye.